I had been living in the Caribbean for about 3 years when I found a very special small town, which shall remain nameless, because sacred places to me will always be nameless. So I'm this port. It was not touristy back then. I loved the place. Everybody knew each other. It was mostly populated by Canadian snowbirds during the winter, and during the summer it was almost deserted. But everybody who lived there, we knew each other. And it was wonderful. I mean, I was having a wonderful time. There was a party every day. It was easy to make money. I think it was New Year's of 2015. And I decided to quit drinking. Not because I had a problem with it, but because I was getting fat. And I was embarrassed that people kept asking me if I was pregnant. So I decided to quit for 3 months. And then I would pick it up again because I loved it. I simply liked it a lot, and that was my way of socializing. Everybody went to the beach in the afternoon, and we all had beer, and there was never any problem. So I didn't see any problem in retaking beer after 3 months. I just wanted to get my body back. And after 2 weeks of quitting, my life changed so dramatically that I decided to quit forever. So this is why I think this happened in 2015. There was a man, I always saw him by himself. He was an older man, and he was obviously a Rastafarian. He had a Rasta that got all the way to the floor. And he was always alone, just walking on the beach or in the plaza. He caught my attention because he had I could see a big aura on him. When I quit drinking, a lot of consciousness started coming to me. And I was meditating every day in the mornings on the beach and in the afternoons. After 2 weeks, everybody stopped talking to me, so they were not my friends. They were just my drinking buddies. So I didn't care. I was very happy alone. And I think that he noticed that. One day, while I was on the beach, he approached me. And we immediately struck a conversation. He was a very interesting man. He spoke English. At the time, I was cataloging medicinal plants to be used as healing. So we started talking about healing and nature and all that. He even invited me to a concert in Belize with Bob Marley's son. I am only aware of 1 or 2 songs from Bob Marley, so I'm not a big fan. But I decided that he must know his music because he was Rastafarian, so I thought, yeah, I'll join you there. I'll join you in Belize. Many things happened. When I was on my way to Belize, I had a Volkswagen and it broke down. It was a car that never broke down, and it broke down just at the border with Belize. So I couldn't reach him. But before that, I asked him his name, and he said that his name was Rasby. And I knew he was lying from the moment he told me that, but I never asked why. He must have his reasons. He was a wonderful guy. He was the type of guy that when he spoke, he sounded, well, he felt like a massage in your brain. He was very wise, and he spoke to me about the psilocybin mushroom. At the time, I was thinking that mushrooms were a hippie drug. But he said that no, it was a mystical experience, and I listened to that. He even got me interested in trying the mushroom. On the day I met Rasby, I made this video. The thing is that I had the sun on my back, and it hit the viewfinder exactly. So, because of the glare of the sun, I did not notice that our heads were cut off. But I made this video with him.
Right there. Right there. Right there, right there. Right
same thing, the Rasta gentleman. And,
No, Rasta only. You know?
Only Rasta, not gentleman.
No, not
Okay,
Rasta.
he's not a gentleman then.
He's a Rasta.
He's a Rasta. I thought it was the same thing, but no. He just corrected me. And I'm considering traveling with him to Belize because he said there's a concert there, a reggae concert, which I think it might be very cool. So we're going to see that first in Nakumal, and then we may join him in Belize for this concert. This is for the 14th, so we don't know.
Kimani Marley. Son of Bob Marley, Kimani Marley.
Ah, he's a son of Bob Marley.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Kimani Marley.
So after my failed attempt to meet him in Belize, I was back home in this port, and a few months after I met him again, and I told him, hey, by the way, he gave me a telephone number that he said his daughter was going to answer, and I did dial that number, and just to say that I was not gonna make it, and a woman answered, and when I told her about Rasby, she said she didn't know any Rasby, so that time I knew his name was not Rasby, but I kept calling him that. And when I met him again, I told him my situation. He had no explanation, and I did not ask further. But I asked him if we could make another video, because we made the first video, we got our heads cut off. So we made another video, and we left it at that. It was just an interview. I had a YouTube channel back then called The Brokest Traveler, and I told him it was gonna be for that channel, but I never published it. I thought he was too sacred, and so I never published that video. I still have that video, but I'm not gonna publish it anytime soon, I think. Hi again, followers, subscribers. Could you tell us where the mushroom comes from?
They come from the cow pastures, from the cow shit.
I left the Caribbean and I kept going in my travels, but I was on my way to try the mushroom. So about 2 years after our interview, about 2017, I found myself locked down in a cabin in the forest. There was a storm that was going on for 2 weeks, and I was waiting for it to pass so the mushrooms would come out, and I knew it was gonna be a good harvest of mushrooms. And at that time, casually, by coincidence, because I don't believe in coincidences, I was looking at YouTube videos, and there was an interview with Bob Marley. I practically didn't know who Bob Marley was. I only knew 2 of his songs, but that was it. No offense. When I saw the interview with Bob Marley, he sounded eerily familiar. Then I took pictures from my video, and I compared them to that of Bob Marley, and this is what I found out. I think that they are probably the same person, but I'm not as sure as to completely be certain about it. Now, having a count that these photographs were taken 35 years apart, and they are not manipulated in any way. I just took one from the internet, from Mr. Bob Marley, and the other Rasby from my video, and this is what I found out. I believe that many artists hate fame. We even spoke about that, how fame is a curse, is not a blessing. I mean, the money must be nice, but the attention is not that nice when it becomes so much. So I completely respect the artists that fake their own deaths, but I think that if Bob Marley faked his own death, I think that he must have had his reasons, so I will not ask. The thing is, I do believe that this man was not an ordinary man. He was very, very enlightened. I think he's the most enlightened person I ever met. And I could tell by his expression, his voice, and even by the video, that he was not a stranger to the camera. So I think that he was actually a celebrity. And besides, he lied about his name. So I know that he is probably the same person. But disregarding that, he is a person that put me in the path of the mushrooms, that got me to guide ceremonies, mushroom ceremonies in the mountains, in the forest, and not only raise the awareness of hundreds of people around the world, but also to find out all this information that you're about to see in this documentary. Now, as a personal favor, I ask the viewer of this introduction to, regardless of if you liked this video or not, put a like if you think this is the same man, and put a don't like if you think that this is not the same man. I'm just asking what people think of this, and I respect your opinion completely. I don't want to convince you of anything further. Thank you so much for your cooperation, and enjoy the documentary.